We'll get started here in just a second. My name is Johnny, and this is Live with Johnny. Make sure you tap in to your comments, questions, suggestions. We'll get started here in a second, making sure everything sounds good. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. All right. Sounding real good. Live with Johnny. We in the building. Yeah, we got something to talk about tonight. And I originally wasn't going to talk about politics, but it's really getting crazy. So I feel that I have to speak on politics, being the fact that we're not far from the election. So we're going to talk about some politics for a second. Something political. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. My name is Johnny, and this is Johnny on the Spot. Thank y'all for tapping in, for those who tapped in now, and then for those who tapped in later. Appreciate all of y'all. And I really, even if you tap in later, leave your comments so I can come back and maybe talk about it a little bit more. Leave your questions, all of that. So we can definitely get into it. I probably have a whole lot of third shifters just not clocking in. But if you're here with me and you got your earphones on, that's totally awesome. Sorry for clearing my throat. That's totally awesome. Let me know that you're out there, and then I can give you a shout out, and we can get this thing popping. We can make this thing as live as we want to make it. I'm going to turn my microphone up just a little bit so y'all can hear me. Perfect. So, yeah. And before I get into it as well, make sure you leave your comments. We say that comments, questions, suggestions, but also make sure that you're sharing it and, just getting into it. I appreciate all of that. Okay, cool. So with that being said, we're on 3 different platforms: Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, all at the same time. So very, very exciting. And I said, this will give you a little bit of background of how this thing works behind the scenes. I set everything up to where I can control it myself. So if you don't see over here, I got the controls over here next to me. So this is major. Got my lighting right. So we're going to go right into it, y'all. And I want to cuss, so I hope y'all don't mind, but what the fuck is up with Donald Trump's weird obsession with Martin Luther King Jr.? Martin Luther King. We all know Martin Luther King. I guess it's getting to a point now, as the older we get, the more we get away from the years and what exactly he did. Like, our kids don't really know as much as we knew, or as much as we was taught that he did for the movement of black people. His movement was big. I understand there was a lot of black people who were not down with Martin Luther King. Like my dad, he was one that really didn't believe a whole lot in what Martin Luther King was trying to do. So everybody wasn't on his side. I see that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's ever been a black person that everybody was on their side. You know what I'm saying? Even with Obama, you had some black people that didn't like him. So there's never going to be a figure that everybody going to get behind. There's too much jealousy. There's too much hate. There's too much this disagreement in our community for us to everybody get behind one person. But with that being said, you have to honor the movement that he made. You know what I'm saying? And his life was cut short, so he could never really live out the rest of his dream or movement. That we never really seen that the end result to the movement. We're seeing like glimpses of it and what it could have been, but these things could have took a whole nother different turn into what he was talking about. He can't critique it. What we think is his dream, and when something happens, we're like, oh, well, we see in Martin Luther King's dream. We don't know if that was his full dream. We're just going off of things that we think was his dream, if that makes sense. Right? So, but with all that being said, you have to recognize what he did as far as a movement. You have to understand that he was a big figure in us getting our freedom and us getting treated right. Because a lot of people go back to Martin Luther King and his speeches and the things he said when they want to refer to how they want to treat black people. You know what I'm saying? So even if you, like I said, even if you didn't like him, you have to. He was a big figure, a big black figure. We don't have a whole bunch of them. First and foremost, and America ain't trying to learn no new black figures. There's a lot of them out there. But America isn't trying to learn any new black figures at this point. Like, we got our few. Let's move on. Anything past, then we trying to, there's a whole stipulation that goes with that. So we have to uphold our black figures who did something until we can prove that what they did wasn't right. Then we have to uplift them. We can't just say, oh, well, we don't like them because of this and because of what we heard. No. If they did something positive, then we have to give them their props. That's how I would want to be treated. You're supposed to treat others like how you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about his personal life. I've heard things. There's been comedians who said, but those are comedians. That's what they're supposed to do, is like make people laugh and things like that. We don't know if what he was on at that point in time as a pastor. But we have to look at the things that he did good for the black community. That's all I'm saying. And uplift our people. And we can't let that go. For one thing, we cannot let that go. Is uplifting our people. Point blank period. All right? So, that brings me to my point. Donald Trump right now is exploiting Dr. Martin Luther King's name. And that's not coming from like, it'd be different if it was coming, even if it was coming from a black man. I feel some type of way like, why are you exploiting this man's name? Because he can't defend himself. He's not here no more. You know what I'm saying? So he can't defend himself, but I do know that what I know about him, what I was told in high school was good, was for the most good, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make sure that I uplift him. But this man, and I'm not saying, look, whether you're Democrat, Republican, we're gonna get into that later. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's right for you to be bringing this man's name up and like throwing his name on the bus. And like one of the things he's been talking about, like his crowd sizes. My crowd sizes were bigger than Martin Luther King. Why? Like, what is the purpose of you even coming saying that? So I'm gonna show y'all this video, and I want y'all to take a look at what I'm saying, and then we're gonna regroup and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk more, okay?
I told that to Mark. I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2. And
See what I'm
he
saying?
looked at me, and I wasn't sure, was he angry because that's a terrible thing to say, or was he complimented? I have never figured it out.
So just that clip right there, like, why would you be bringing Martin Luther King name up like that and saying that this person, black person running for office, it's the reason why you're doing that, because you want him to get votes and you want to get back in office. So it's like you're willing to say whatever. But I'm gonna let y'all watch this one more time. Let's watch what he say.
This is Martin Luther King on steroids. Okay, now I told that to Mark. I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2. And he looked at me, and I wasn't sure, was he angry because that's a terrible thing to say, or was he complimented? I have never figured it out.
So, a few things about that. Like, you took Martin Luther King's name and you associated it with drugs. Understand me as a person, like, I know he's a reverend. Like, I've never associated his name like with drugs. Like, oh, he's, you know what I'm saying? And for somebody to be Martin Luther King, they have to do a lot for a lot of black people. Like, I don't never recall this guy doing anything positive for black people. So why would you say that he's, you know what I'm saying, Martin Luther King? Like, you took Martin Luther King's name off of a high shelf and put it down here with this man who we don't even really know. And you're telling us as black people, as if we stupid or something, like this is who we should follow other than Martin Luther King. Like, how crazy is that? So fast forward, it turns out that this man that he's calling Martin Luther King has been in a bunch of scandals lately, a huge amount of scandals lately. And one of the scandals, I'm gonna see if I can get it all together. Like, this is kind of like P. Diddy-ish. Like, he went on a porn website with his name and talking about he a black Nazi. He said that slavery is not bad. In fact, he said if he could bring back slavery, he would, and he would own a couple of slaves himself. How foul is that? So I'm gonna let y'all watch this video, and then we're gonna watch a little bit of it, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all think, because this is insane, y'all. And this is the guy that he said is Martin Luther King times 2.
Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. This is Martin Luther King on steroids. Okay, now I told that to Mark. I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2. I said to this man, and when he endorsed me, he gave a speech, and I said, you are Dr. Martin Luther King on steroids. That's how good you are. You are unbelievable as a speaker. And he got up, and he's doing fantastically well in North Carolina, and I think he's going to be the next governor of North Carolina, Mark Robinson.
Hi again, everybody. It is 5 o'clock now in New York. I'm Alicia Menendez in this Friday for my friend Nicole Wallace. That sound you hear, it is just the low rumble of an entire political apparatus acting with new purpose. Their mission to get you to see the video we just watched over and over and over again. As we speak, Democrats are mustering their messaging might to make a connection in voters' minds, to link Donald Trump and Mark Robinson, his choice for North Carolina governor. Now, we won't belabor the specifics of the salacious accusations surrounding Robinson this afternoon, other than to say a CNN report detailed a number of racist and sexually explicit messages posted on a porn site years before he entered politics. One post attributed to Robinson from 2010 is a declaration, quote, I'm a black Nazi. Another post, quote, slavery is not bad. And then there's the story attributed to Robinson, in which he recounts peeping on naked women when he was a teenager. We should note here, NBC News has not yet verified the authenticity of these messages. CNN's reporting suggests the username traces back to other similar ones across a number of social media platforms. And certain posts contain details that matched up with Robinson's personal life. And for his part, Robinson and his team, they are denying any of these posts came from him and that he never created or used such an account. Here's Robinson's response.
Let me reassure you.
He said it's not his post.
You will see in that story,
y'all watch this.
Those are not the words of Mark Robinson. You know my words, you know my character, and you know that I have been completely transparent in this race and before. Clarence Thomas famously once said he was the victim of high-tech lynching. Well, it looks like Mark Robinson is too, by a man who refuses to stand on stage and debate me about the real issues that face you. Instead, they want to
use the word lynching.
Tabloid lies.
That's crazy.
We're not going to let them do that. We are staying in this race. We are in it to win it.
We do know his words, and we will get to that in just a second. But a spokesperson for North Carolina's Board of Elections confirmed to NBC News this afternoon the deadline for Robinson to submit a written request to withdraw from this race has now passed. Lieutenant Governor submitted no such paperwork, so this race, as it stands, is on. The North Carolina Republican Party, they are standing by Robinson. The Trump campaign, they are too, at least to some degree, suggesting North Carolina is a vital part of the campaign without ever mentioning Robinson's name. But as we...
All right, y'all. We're going to leave it at that. That's crazy. I want y'all to leave your comments, your questions, suggestions. But let me know what y'all think. My name is Johnny, and this is Live with Johnny. We out.